Today we are in our final week of our RYT 200 yoga teacher training. So congratulations to everyone. If you are not currently on degree track and not enrolled in our Yoga Alliance accredited course, you can do so at http://sharelove.fund/training. But don't do that now, stay for the class. You don't need anything for this class today. No blocks, bolsters. If you want, you can have a blanket or an eye pillow for Savasana at the end, but that is completely optional. All you need is yourself. I will give everyone a few minutes to gather themselves and to get ready for our last class. This will be a review class, and we'll go over everything that we've covered to date and also have a really good, feel-good workout and stretch. Okay, so let's reconvene in a minute. Okay, I'm gonna trust everybody has what they need. I have my water My little coffee boost, real work for real women, so it's live and uncut, so you can see my coffee cheat sheet here. Okay, I'm going to start with a meditation from our book available on Amazon. Broadening Our Horizons is the series. It's a book series written by high school leaders at the 9th grade level for incarcerated women so that they can get an education that respects their mind, body, and soul in the form of a vocational degree, using their time behind bars wisely. This specific book in the Broadening Our Horizons textbook series is called The Encyclopedia of Yoga. Super affordable, under $25, and the idea is that we want to show our high school leaders that anything is possible. Anyone can be an author, so please check it out on Amazon, and if it moves you, please purchase it and leave us a 5-star review with comments, because that really helps motivate our high school leaders, and it also helps with grants. So I will read a meditation from this book, which you can also get for free by just copy pasting the transcript. So this meditation is called Stopping and Being Present. The goal of these meditations is to get to know our minds better, cultivate insight and peace, and become calmer and more focused. So please join me in having a comfortable seated position. You want to have the crown of your head up, your sits bones growing roots beneath you, long and strong. Alert, you can have your eyes closed, but if you find yourself falling asleep, then try to have a soft gaze. Remind yourself to let go of any tension in your face and neck. You may want to wiggle your jaw a little bit, or do a neck clock to just let go. I'll punctuate the start of this meditation with a clap of my hands, and all you need to do is follow directions while I read them. People think of meditation as some kind of special activity, but that is not exactly correct. Meditation is simplicity itself. As a joke, sometimes people say, don't just do something, sit there. But meditation is not just about sitting either. It's about stopping and being present. That is all. For our incarcerated population that we serve, imagine all the energy of trying to go out and be someplace different. Imagine if all that energy was spent on thinking about breaking your own personal record on how long you could be still. Now, sometimes you'll have to get up in order to cooperate, and I'm not encouraging anyone to be disobedient or get in trouble in any way, but to the extent that you are permitted time to be alone and be still, consider taking a journey inward and using your energy to focus on how still can you be. Stopping and being present. That is the theme of this meditation. Try to stop and be present for another minute. Excellent. Mostly we run around doing, and even in a custodial situation, our mind is running around thinking, churning, planning for the next event, worrying about what's going on in the outside. We have constant movement mentally, if not physically. Are you able to come to a stop in life, even for one moment? Well, congratulations, because we just did it together. Could it be this moment that you stop and be present? What would happen if you stopped? Just stopped and be present. What would happen? This meditation is fitting for our graduating class today. It's week 52 of 52 weeks or lessons of our RYT 200. And when we finish and reach our goal, sometimes we immediately think, well, what now? But this is the perfect time, the perfect ending to stop and be present. It's interesting because the word we use for graduation is commencement, and that means beginning. Like a new journey is going to start, and in many ways that is applicable to earning your yoga teaching degree because you are now certified yoga teachers. And this is the beginning of your journey to interact with others as a credentialed teacher. So in many ways it's a beginning and a door opening. But what if we looked at this graduation day, this final class together, as an ending, as a point where we took a hike to the top of a mountain peak and there's nowhere else to go, and we have to stop and be present. Imagine this class as the pinnacle, and there's no where to go, just to be still in this moment together. the unity of stillness. A good way to stop all the thoughts, all the doing, is to shift your mode. Shift into being mode, feeling mode, just for a moment. Awareness mode. Think of yourself as an eternal witness, a timeless entity. Just watch this moment. Watch this moment without trying to change it in any way. What's happening? How do you feel? What do you see? What do you hear? Let's continue to meditate this way for 3 minutes. The funny thing about stopping is that as soon as you do it, here you are. Things get simpler. In some ways, and I'm not suggesting you do this, this is just an exercise, so please, if you have these thoughts, please seek professional help. But just as an exercise, stopping can be sort of equated with dying. And if we were to cease our life function, the world would continue to go on. And if we did die, all our responsibilities and obligations would be alleviated, but I'm not suggesting anyone do that. And if you have those types of thoughts, please seek help. But the idea is that we put so much pressure on ourselves, and actually the world would go on if we did not fulfill our obligations. If we ceased our life function, our obligations would immediately evaporate. So we shouldn't put pressure on ourselves to the point that it is detrimental to our health. This exercise is only meant for the purpose of giving a perspective that we don't have to take things so seriously as we take them. The obligations that we have, if we did not do them, they'd somehow get worked out. They'd get worked out without us. No one else can take over our own unique agenda, especially for those of us who are parents. There's no replacement for a lost parent, but the world would go on nonetheless. The specific projects or specific agendas we had would probably peter out. Nobody would probably take them on or continue them, just as those before us who have had life's work, when they have died in general for the most part, so has their work. We can think about this in the life of an artist. The collection of the artist dies with the artist, but nonetheless, all of the world continues to go on. So we don't need to worry in any absolute way that everything depends on us. We can think about it more positively from a place of abundance, that if we have a specific passion, then yes, by all means, we should carry that out, because no one else is us, and no one else has the ability to carry out our own unique agenda like we do. And an example of this is, if you are an artist, then only you can paint your art, and only you can do it during your lifetime. But in the whole scheme of things, the world really goes on with or without us. So to the extent that the obligations we feel are weighing us down, we should remember that the world can go on without us, and that we should take our obligations sometimes with a grain of salt, not so seriously, and allow some breathing room and perspective in order to be healthy, to do what we can within a healthy space, but not work so hard that it is to our detriment. When we give ourselves a moment to let go of everything, figuratively speaking, quote unquote, dying on purpose, which is an exercise we do for our incarcerated women, we are able to feel free. For so many of our incarcerated women, they have families and kids, and it's very frustrating to be in a custodial situation and not able to do their childcare obligations. But if they make themselves sick and passed, then they wouldn't be able to carry out those obligations either. So sometimes doing a mental exercise that we call dying on purpose. It allows one to feel free of all their obligations. And then we take that mental state of mind from this exercise and we use it to create a little space of relief while we live. Again, this is a mental exercise. We definitely want everyone to live and not harm themselves. And if you have thoughts to the contrary, please seek help. Let us try stopping, sitting down, and becoming aware of our breathing, as your mind wanders, please bring your attention back to your breath. We'll focus on breathing for a few minutes. Let go into full acceptance of this present moment, including how you are feeling and what you perceive to be happening. For these moments, don't try to change anything at all. Just breathe and let go. Breathe and let be. I'm going to conclude this meditation with a few centering quotes. Peace does not mean to be in a place where there is no noise, no trouble, or no hard work. Peace means to be in the midst of all of those things and still be calm in your heart. This quote is by Marcel Morin. A second quote. It is not so much what happens as it is how we are with ourselves, regardless of what happens, that makes the difference in our lives. This quote is by Sherry Huber, a meditation teacher. A third quote. There can only be one state of mind as you approach any profound test. Total concentration, a spirit of togetherness and strength. Pat Riley, LA Lakers coach. A fourth quote. All too often, people come to meditation in the hope of extraordinary results, like visions, lights, or some supernatural miracle. When no such thing occurs, they feel extremely disappointed. But the real miracle of meditation is more ordinary and much more useful. Sogyal Rinpoche, an author. Fifth quote. Nothing can bring you peace but yourself. Ralph Waldo Emerson, poet. Sixth quote. People say you have to travel to see the world. Sometimes I think that if you just stay in one place and keep your eyes open, you're going to see just about all that you can handle. I love this quote. Paul Auster, novelist. Okay, 7. Whether we sit with our arms folded this way and our legs crossed that way is of little consequence, but it is extremely important to check and see whatever meditation we do is an actual remedy for our suffering. Lama Thepten Geshe. Another quote. With gentleness and precision, meditation will bring us joy. Sakyong Mipam Rinpoche. And finally, we'll end with Henry David Thoreau quote, walking is a blessing. And we can see that in our walking meditations on our 365 meditations for incarcerated women playlist on YouTube. Okay, so excellent job, everyone, on meditating, and that was sort of a sneak peek into our RYT 300, where we focus on the technical skills needed for our rehabilitation through yoga for incarcerated women, for those of you who are interested in continuing with us and teaching for a cause. Let us continue now with a warm-up. Arms up, stretched, clasp the hands together. You can have your pointer finger up, and we'll stretch to one side and stretch to the other side. Exhale, forward fold, and just try to have a flat back here. And really, really release. Let go of all of that tension. As you release, you can stretch, walk your fingers forward a bit. Walk your hands to the side. And walk your hands to the other side. You can kick out the legs, give your feet a little stomp to increase the blood circulation. We have been seated for a while. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend one knee to get a little deeper into the side. It doesn't really matter if you are touching your feet or your calves, but the idea is that you are exaggerating the bend in one of your knees to really get a deeper IT band stretch. We're going to hold this for a while. It's a little boring, but that's where the progress is made. And you can kick out the legs a little bit and inhale, forward fold, exhale, and now bend the other leg as you do a seated forward fold to stretch the IT band on the other side. Now we'll continue with the seated forward fold. Grab a hold of your feet. If your comfort level is with your legs bent, then have your legs bent. The point of grabbing your feet, even when your legs are bent, is so that you get an arm stretch and a back stretch, as well as a hamstring stretch. So really, as Mr. Bowen shows us, it's the whole back body stretch. You can kind of shimmy into it, and as your body reduces its resistance, and you could use your breath to get into it deeper. Exhale, slowly come up to a seated position, and we will have our legs opposite of what we had before. So if you were crisscross applesauce with one leg forward, we'll do the opposite, and that way we stretch our hips equally on each side. Inhale, arms up, exhale, forward fold, and just really sink into it. As you feel your body opening up, crawl your hands out a little more forward, but still try to keep your sits bones grounded. Excellent. Now come up slowly so you're not lightheaded. Probably have a mark on my forehead, but that was excellent. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, rainbow your arms to one side and slowly walk them to a stretch on one side. Really trying to stretch your underarm and obliques all the way to your hip. Inhale, arms up, rainbow your arms to the other side and stretch out on the other side. Trying to keep both hips grounded. Slowly crawl your way back up. Reverse your leg footing and we'll do a deeper oblique stretch with our legs reversed. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, rainbow them over and walk them out to one side. So about a 45-degree angle. Trying to keep the opposite hip down. Inhale, arms up, and rainbow your arms to the other side. And we'll stretch on this other side. Slowly walk your way up. Inhale, your arm up and over, and we'll come into cat-cow, warming up the spine. Inhale and exhale, dropping the head. You can move a little bit around in this cat-cow. You can move your neck side to side. Really try to loosen up those nooks and crannies. In cat-cow, we can do what I like to call around the world, which is move all the way to one side and all the way to the other. From from here. Widen your knees hip width apart. Exhale, and we'll do downward puppy, chin on the mat, arms outstretched. From downward puppy, come down to child's pose, walking your hands to one side of the mat for a nice stretch. Trying to keep your sacrum on your heels as best you can. Now walking your hands back to center, come back up to table, and then we'll do some cat-cows. Moving through the breath, rolling a bit forward and back to really loosen up the spine. Exhale, widen the knees a bit further, come back to child's pose, and walk the hands to the other side for a nice underarm and oblique stretch. Still trying to keep the sacrum on the heels. Like I'm popping up a little bit, so it's a practice, not a perfect. I'm not practicing what I'm preaching, but the idea is that to the extent possible, try to keep the sacrum on the heels. Slowly walk your hands back to center. And we'll do some cat-cows again, neck side to side. Walking your hands to one side, pushing your hip out at an angle and just feeling the stretch. This is similar to what we just did in child's pose, but it gets added a little bit differently because our hips are raised and we have some distance between our hips and our heels. So this is sort of like a modified downward puppy. The head is elevated, sort of floating above the mat. In this way, we're creating strength by engaging our abdominals. Walking back to center, chin on the mat, downward puppy, creating space under our armpits. Crawling forward a bit, creating more of a right angle with our thighs and torso. And walking our hands to the other side. Keeping distance between our sits bones and our heels. Walking our hands down to center, rolling forward into Sphinx pose, squeezing the glutes and back of our thighs all together to create space. Then from Sphinx, counteracting that by pushing back into wide-legged child's pose. You can have your arms outstretched or by your side. I'm just taking a moment to internalize our meditation today, stopping and being still. Resting in child's pose, not exerting ourselves in any way, but just being present. If you have your cheek down in child's pose and not your forehead, then I invite you to switch sides. Pushing up into tabletop, tuck your toes under, and we are in our first downward dog of the day. You can kind of roll around a little bit side to side and just feel that connection. Pedal out the feet a little bit and just get warmed up a little bit. If you're feeling good in downward dog and kind of surprised, why do you feel so good in it when it's our first one of the day? It's because of all that great preparatory work we did in our forward fold. Inhale the left knee in, step it through to your hands, have the right leg come to meet, slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Let us continue this review week with our trusted sun salutation. It's your go-to exercise as you teach. You can do a whole vinyasa class just with sun salutation A. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend, step the left leg back. Step the right leg back, plank. From plank, knees, chest, chin. From knees, chest, chin, push up to cobra. From cobra, exhale, down dog. From down dog, inhale the left knee in, step it through your hands, have the right leg come to match. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend. Inhale all the way up, upward salute, and back to mountain pose. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend. Exhale, right leg back. Left leg back, plank, knees, chest, chin, cobra, down dog. Inhale your right knee in, step it through your hands. Inhale your left leg to come to match. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend. Inhale all the way up, upward salute. Exhale, mountain pose. Congratulations. We just reviewed Sun Salutation A. We've learned 45 key poses to spice up that Sun Salutation A. You have an incredible repertoire to work with just those poses alone. We were able to commit those poses to memory without any tests or quizzes, just by breaking them down one pose a week for 9 poses, and then having a review week every 10th week. And this is your final review, which is awesome. So we won't go through all of those 45 poses today, because you should know that the reason why we created sequences with just 9 poses at a time is when you do too many poses in a day, you can have an injury. So doing our Sun Salutation A with all 45 poses, while I would be happy to demonstrate that, it wouldn't be safe for folks to follow along. It's just too many different poses in a day, unless someone has been specifically conditioned for that. Let us continue with some mat work. Exhale, slowly come down, working your abs. Inhale, feet up. Flat feet to the ceiling. Inhale, arms up, palms facing each other. And we are just working our abdomen with a long spine, keeping our shoulders connected to the mat. Exhale, cross your legs, grab a hold of opposite ankles, and enjoy a nice hip stretch. While you're doing this, bring your chin to your chest and slowly roll your head back, trying to gain connection with your neck and the mat. Grabbing your ankles, bringing your knees towards your chin and chest. Inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, opposite legs. Bring your ankles close into you, and we'll stretch the glute on the other side. Inhale, bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Rock side to side, really massaging out the spine. Did nice stretches on each side. Bring your soles to your feet to the ceiling. Try to make a right angle with your lower leg and upper leg. And here we'll enjoy Happy Baby. You can grab a hold of your big toes and you can rock side to side in Happy Baby. It's yoga, it's not that serious, and in connection with our meditation saying that our obligations, if we did not do them, life would go on. We can think about that with some perspective, rolling around in Happy Baby, having some fun, knowing that we can let go and things will still be okay. Sometimes we hold on for a sense of control, but sometimes that holding on is to our detriment. So in that vein, let's try to exhale and release a little deeper into this Happy Baby, dropping the knees down as much as you can, trying to keep the sacrum connected to the ground. You can inhale the arms around and exhale, pushing the elbows into the inner thighs, trying to get a wider hip stretch. Bring the soles of the feet together. Gently rest them on the mat. Inhale, arms up all the way around into cactus arms. And here we'll enjoy a reclined goddess for a moment. Further, trying to open up the hips, working on what we started in Happy Baby, but from a different angle. Inhale, knees together. Shimmy your feet to the edges of the mat, and we'll windshield wiper our knees down, back and forth, loosening up the hips. You can do inhale, knees up, exhale, knees drop. You can do this at your own pace, according to your own natural rhythm of your breath. We're just loosening up the lower spine as we do this, getting a little stretch. You're also engaging your abdominals. And if you're not, you should. So you get a little bit of strengthening with our stretching. On the next exhale, drop one knee down. Bring your opposite leg over so your foot is resting on your thigh. Be careful not to rest your foot on the knee. And try to gain connection with your whole spine as you do this, stretching the psoas and the upper thigh. So I have some space between my spine, so I'm not able to fully connect with the mat. So I just use that as an example that this is an ideal, that we're just trying to keep our knees to the ground as well as our spine to the ground. Not everyone is going to connect on all those 3 points, so we stretch. We use gravity to draw us closer to that connection, and it's more of an ideal. Inhale, bring both knees up to center. We'll windshield wiper them again, just to warm up that spine again. After holding a position for so long, we're shaking it out. And when you're ready on the exhale, bring the opposite knee down to the mat, the opposite foot on top of that thigh, and we'll stretch this side. You can notice the difference on each side, which hip is tighter, and so forth. Okay, when you come back to that, stretch out into Savasana for your final relaxation and final resting pose. I'll come back in about 7 minutes to let you know when Savasana is over. Slowly roll to one side. Gently push yourself up. How do you feel? May the light in me be the light in you. Namaste. Congratulations. All of you are yoga teacher trainee graduates. This is our last class. See you at Bar Taco. Let's celebrate. Take care, everyone.